Nandita, I want to ask you a vaguely personal question about your work, because you're, of course, a very good director, and of course, as I said, probably the finest actress of your generation. And yet, in all of your work, there's been much more than just acting or directing. Almost everything you've done has focused on people at the margins of our society, people who are ignored, people who you feel should be brought to greater attention. You've done things that make a difference to India as a whole. Even early in your career, whether it was lesbianism, it was the condition of widows or whatever, you've always done things that are not popular, that are not necessarily the obvious things to do. Was that one of your motivations when you got into this field? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's a conscious choice, you know. It's sometimes just an instinctive choice, the kind of projects that you get attracted to. Like I earlier said, that films wasn't something that I sort of consciously moved towards. And I think when you don't really have a goal, you don't really work towards it. You just, you know, you're more invested in the journey, and you kind of, one thing leads to the other. And if you keep getting attracted to projects that are saying something that resonate with you, you just do it. You're not sort of thinking how this will make me do my next project, but you just do it because you believe in it. And I've been fortunate. I've worked with many amazing directors, some new films. Every time I meet Meera, I tell her, I said, I have to work with you before I die. So she's got that responsibility, and you all are the witnesses. But yeah,
I've got 50 years.
Absolutely. I'm waiting. No rush. But yeah, so for me, like I said Veer earlier also, that, you know, it's more a means to an end. So for me to see what the story is, who's the director, and then the role. As an actor, you should be probably looking at the role first. But for me, I just want to enter and be part of those stories. So I think it's more an instinct. And yes, it's true that sometimes I feel I'm not really a true artist, because art in itself doesn't excite me. Of course, when I'm watching a film as well, like sometimes, you know, it's made very interestingly, but if the story is not engaging me, I don't get involved in it. So for me, the story and the form, like what they call the content and the form, both are important. And the form almost sort of, you know, the story is what propels the form, even in the films that I have made. So, yeah, so for me, I think they are not separate, whether it's my politics or whether it's my desire to talk about certain things, whether it's my concerns, whether it's what I write or what I direct or what I act, or I come here and talk. They may seem like different threads, but for me, they're all the same. They're all, this comes from a deep compulsion almost to share or to communicate or to find ways to do that. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does in a way. It does actually answer what I was getting at. This is called an Ideas of India Summit. You clearly have a very clear idea of India. What would that be? Nandita first.
Oh my God, that's a tough one.
I know, that's why I kept it for the end.
It's a tough one because, you know, I mean, I don't know how to say and how much to say and what to withhold, and I'm not very good at all that. The thing is that India is not one India. I mean, you know, it's such a cliche to say there's unity in diversity. But I grew up in an India which was so inherently diverse that there was no desire to put it in any one framework. I never felt the need to kind of even define it, because by defining, you're kind of limiting India. India is everything. You have the most progressive ideas here, and you will have the most traditional and bigoted ones. You know, you will have anything, you pick up a cuisine to culture to music to anything that you pick up, there isn't any one India. And as long as we don't homogenize it or try to homogenize it, as long as we don't try to limit it in any one color, literally and otherwise, I think we'll be fine, because we don't have to, every day when you wake up, we don't say, I am an Indian. We don't, because we are in India. We have to maybe define it when we travel outside. So similarly, I feel we are diverse, and, you know, and it's okay. We are all very different. We have different ideas, and it's possible to have that churning with different ideas and to respect each other for who we are. So that idea of India, as long as it's preserved, I think we'll be fine. And is it going through its own ups and downs? you know it as much as I do, Veer.